Okay, so I was looking at YouTube and I checked out a video from Self Talk. Go check out his channel. He covers sports and entertainment better than anyone else out there. Self Talk. So I was listening to his video, and apparently this happened and took place on First Take, where they had a segment about Bill Belichick. Will Bill Belichick be a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys? And you guys know I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan since day one. Okay, and even me, as a hardcore Dallas Cowboy fan, I cannot figure out a scenario where Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones could coexist in one universe that is Cowboy Nation. I just don't see it. Yes, it's a good fit. Bill Belichick, he, won Super Bowls, phenomenal coach. I don't feel no slippage there. Jerry Jones, arguably he has this persona that he'll do whatever it takes to get the Dallas Cowboys to win a Super Bowl. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video on my opinions about that. And just the nuances of these two individuals will be an awesome fit for the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't see it happening because Bill Belichick wants to handle things and do things his way. And Jerry Jones wants to do things his way, taking care of his players, the ones that he draft, the ones that he draft, and he likes the players of the Dallas Cowboys. I think emotionally, that's what got him in a little bit of trouble with the Dak Prescott contract. He's overpaying Dak Prescott because he didn't pay him in seasons past when Dak Prescott was very successful early on with the Dallas Cowboys, okay? And he just kept putting it off. But that's neither here nor there. So Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe was going back and forth. And first and foremost, I would love to play the actual clip, but unfortunately, ESPN, they will put a copyright claim on the video. So I do apologize. I just don't want to go through all that. But basically, what Stephen A. Smith was talking about, and he was talking about how this would be a great fit. Let Jerry Jones be Jerry Jones. He can go talk to the media. He can go talk to the podcasters of the world. He's a better promoter of the Dallas Cowboys than anyone else. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick can handle the team. He can cultivate the team. Obviously, they're going to rebuild. They're going to start this thing all over again. Bill Belichick knows talent when he sees it. He knows how to flip draft picks. So if Bill Belichick is handling the management of the football team and Jerry Jones handles the promotion of the football team, then everything should be fine. And meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe is visibly, disagreeing with Stephen A. Smith. And if you guys have been checking out my channel, I'm a huge Shannon Sharpe fan, but Shannon Sharpe does have flaws. And there's a reason why Shannon Sharpe hasn't worked out with personalities and with networks. Once the honeymoon phase is over with, and when you start working on the relationship, the marriage of, dealing with these personalities on these shows, it gets kind of difficult. It gets kind of tedious because of Shannon Sharpe. He is not going to bend for anybody. Okay, Shannon Sharpe is going to tell it like it is, not like it was. And Shannon Sharpe does not care if it hurts your feelings. All right, that's Shannon Sharpe in a nutshell. That's why Shannon Sharpe had an issue working at CBS Sports. That's why Shannon Sharpe had an issue with Fox Sports 1. Not to say that Shannon Sharpe I'm not here to critique Shannon Sharpe and say it's all Shannon Sharpe's fault. Obviously, there was other nuances in those places that he went where everyone deserved a slice of the blame pie. But this is why Shannon Sharpe can't stay in one place network-wise. But anywho, that's neither here nor there as well. But I agree 1,000% with Shannon Sharpe because Stephen A. Smith was not making any points to promote his argument. And the one thing I agree with Shannon, a lot of things I agree with Shannon Sharpe, but the one thing I do agree with Shannon Sharpe is when you talk about professional football, it's one voice, one sound. You can't have voices all over the place and everyone is under a different tempo or a different sound. And that's why the successful football teams, the successful franchises, they're never in situations like the Dallas Cowboys find themselves right now. All right. I do agree with Shannon Sharpe. I don't think it will work. And, even Shannon Sharpe and, I forgot the linebacker for the Patriots back in the day. He was in this segment as well. And he even co-signed with Shannon Sharpe and said, look, the first thing Bill Belichick is going to do is call Bill Parcells and ask him how's life with Jerry Jones. And Bill Parcells is not going to pull any punches. Bill Parcells is going to tell Bill Belichick. And I do feel like Bill Belichick has a grip of or has a sense of what it's like working with Jerry Jones because everyone has stories when you talk about coaches about either working with Jerry Jones or have heard things about Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is player friendly. Jerry Jones is big on promoting the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys being successful. The Dallas Cowboys being popular, okay? Jerry Jones, and I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to hurt a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans, but the days of Jerry Jones trying to win titles are over with. All Jerry Jones wants to do with the Dallas Cowboys and do as far as with the franchise is for it to make money, for it to be valuable, okay? That's what Jerry Jones is more concerned about than winning Super Bowls. I think the days of Jerry Jones trying to win one last Super Bowl, that is a thing of the past. Jerry Jones, I believe Jerry Jones is 70. I think he's pushing 80. Jerry Jones is more concerned about the business side of things of the Dallas Cowboys. He really doesn't have a lot of energy as far as winning titles or creating a dynasty. As long as the Dallas Cowboys are relevant, as long as the Dallas Cowboys are profitable, making a lot of money, as long as the Dallas Cowboys prove its value year after year, then that's fine with Jerry Jones. And that's why Jerry Jones, he has had multiple opportunities to put a coaching staff or a Super Bowl-minded type of coach to coach the Dallas Cowboys. There have been tons of coaches out there that could get the Dallas Cowboys back to the promised land. There are tons of them. But Jerry Jones refuses to relinquish a lot of the power and the control of the Dallas Cowboys because those type of coaches, like a Bill Belichick, they're going to demand control as far as managing the team, who they draft, who they let go, who they pursue in free agency. And Jerry Jones refuses to do that. Okay? Jerry Jones will refuse to do that. And that's why Even though on paper, Bill Belichick sounds great coaching the Dallas Cowboys, it makes a lot of sense. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not see Jerry Jones looking for a Bill Belichick. When this season is over with, we're going to be looking for a new head coach. And it's going to be the same head coach that we've been getting for the past seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be a coach that's going to be easy to control, that is not going to take the spotlight, that's not a big name or a household name. It's probably going to be somebody in the college rankings. A lot of people are saying that Deion Sanders could possibly be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't even see that, okay? Because Deion Sanders is a bigger name, a bigger draw than Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is not going to go through like he did with I forgot his name. Oh my God, I see his face right in front of me, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. That's why Jerry Jones is not going to try to compete with a big name like he did in the past when the Dallas Cowboys was winning. Okay, he's going to just get mediocre coaches who doesn't have the credibility or the staying power or the name that could push Jerry Jones or get Jerry Jones to relinquish his power. He tried that with Bill Parcells, okay? And in the beginning, things were starting to click. But when it got closer to the end of Bill Parcells, and I think the sticking point was with T.O., Terrell Owens. Bill Parcells didn't want nothing to do with Terrell Owens. Jerry Jones thought of that signing Terrell Owens as box office. He's a big star. He could, he not only he's going to win games, he's popular, things of that nature. But Bill Parcells knew that he was going to be a headache, and he was a headache. Bill Parcells left that team, and that team didn't go anywhere with Terrell Owens. Okay, we was good. We were in playoffs here and there, but we wasn't good enough to make it to the Super Bowl. And that's the ultimate prize. And I just don't see Jerry Jones in that mindset no more. Jerry Jones is in the mindset of making sure the Dallas Cowboys, making sure this franchise is popular and making tons of money. Okay? That's all Jerry Jones thinks about. When he drafts good or great players to join his team, and he takes care of those players because those players are draws for the Dallas Cowboys. It collects fans for the Dallas Cowboys on top of the fans that they have for Cowboy Nation. So I do not see a day where it makes sense for Bill Belichick to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But I just don't see Jerry Jones pushing that, okay? Because if you get Bill Belichick, if Jerry Jones signs Bill Belichick, then he's relinquishing a lot of power, a lot of authority, a lot of control to as far as that team goes. Jerry Jones is not going to be able to have a word or have a say or be in the locker room figuring out running plays for the guy. All that will cease to exist. And I just don't see Jerry Jones, unfortunately, and it's ugly to say this as a Dallas Cowboy fan, but we're not going to be very, very competitive or be competitive enough to maybe make it to the Super Bowl until Jerry Jones is no longer on this planet Earth. Okay, as long as Jerry Jones have control, you can't fire the owner. Okay, and that's what Shannon Sharpe is saying. The reason why the Dallas Cowboys are where they are is because of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones doesn't want to make the right decision of picking the right coach. the right system. Jerry Jones is unwilling to give up authority and relinquish a lot of control and power of the Dallas Cowboys to a top name coach. There are a lot of coaches out there, even last year, that would improve our odds as far as being very competitive, and they chose not to. Okay, go after those coaches. So I understand what Shannon Sharpe is coming from. Now, from Stephen A's perspective, Stephen A don't really mean what he is saying. Stephen A. Smith knows that he's saying this to continue to have a relationship with Jerry Jones. Stephen A. Smith is figuring out if he wants to continue to do content on his YouTube channel, he's going to have to start building relationships with a lot of popular and famous athletes and owners and teams and players. So he's not going to say anything bad about Jerry Jones because he's trying to establish a relationship or keep a relationship with Jerry Jones. And that's why he was saying that. And I don't believe Stephen A. Smith believes everything that he says coming out of his mouth, but he doesn't want to badmouth Jerry Jones. That's the position Stephen A. Smith, is held to. Now with Shannon Sharpe, he doesn't need a Jerry Jones. Shannon Sharpe has his own platform. Shannon Sharpe is, if Shannon Sharpe leaves ESPN and go full-time doing his own thing, doing Nightcap and Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe is a bigger draw. Shannon Sharpe doesn't need to establish relationships, okay? Because folks like Jerry Jones would do anything to be interviewed on Club Shay Shay. Folks like Jerry Jones would love for Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco to talk about the Dallas Cowboys, good, bad, or indifferent, okay? So Shannon Sharpe doesn't need a Jerry Jones. Stephen A. Smith needs the relationship because he's not of a Jerry Jones, because he's not there as a content creator, all right? And this is another thing that I want to point out, and a lot of people are not talking about this, okay? This is why ESPN, they have some wiggle or a bargaining chip as far as making Stephen A. Smith the highest paid broadcaster in sports entertainment. Because, like it or not, love it or hate it, Stephen A. Smith needs ESPN more so than ESPN needing Stephen A. Smith. Because if Stephen A. Smith walks and go to, like, let's say Fox Sports 1, then, he will still get that contract, but he's not going to be at a bigger network. Someone like Stephen A. Smith, who's a draw, needs to be on a network that has the fan base, that has the viewership to continue to allow him to be a big draw. ESPN has already locked, stocked, and barreled Shannon Sharpe. They already got Pat McAfee. We have already talked about this last week. Inside the NBA, Chuck, Charles, Ernie, Kenny Smith, they're going to be going to ESPN. There are other things in motion, in place that, ESPN, they have Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. ESPN has the star power. If Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN, ESPN is not going to lose a lot of viewers. They're not going to lose it when it comes to ratings. So if Stephen A. Smith needs ESPN more so than ESPN needs Stephen A. Smith. Okay. And that's why ESPN is calling all the shots. 8 years ago, Skip Bayless, when he had the opportunity to probably go back to ESPN, ESPN would have paid him a lot of money to return back to ESPN. But now, since ESPN are collecting stars, they don't need a Skip Bayless. That's why they were saying in published reports, we've been there and done that with Skip Bayless, and we wish nothing but the best for Skip Bayless. Basically saying we don't need Skip Bayless. We got plenty of stars over here, okay? And that's another dynamic a lot of people are not talking about. And as the weeks go on and on and on, Stephen A. Smith has not locked in to that $100+ million contract. I think when it's all said and done, he's probably going to get that $100 million, but he's not going to get the influence and the control of what he can just call his own shots at ESPN. Remember, Stephen A. Smith wanted to join the Monday Night Football crew, and they denied that. Stephen A. Smith also wanted to be part of Inside the NBA when it starts broadcasting on ESPN. There's reports out there saying that he will not be on Inside the NBA in that capacity, okay? So ESPN is calling all the shots because, like it or not, love it or hate it, Stephen A. Smith needs ESPN. ESPN doesn't necessarily need Stephen A. Smith. There's not another bigger draw out there that would reap the benefits and the rewards of a Stephen A. Smith. If Stephen A. Smith goes to Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 1 is not a bigger draw than ESPN. If Stephen A. Smith goes to NBC, NBC is not a bigger draw than ESPN or CBS, okay? Or go to CNN and do politics, or maybe go to ABC and do late night television, or late night television on NBC, okay? If that's possible. I don't think it is possible, but you get my drift. You get the gist of what I'm saying. Stephen A. Smith needs ESPN more so than ESPN needs Stephen A. Smith. And that's just the bottom line. And I've been saying that on this channel for the past couple of videos. And, you know, a lot of you guys don't like what I'm saying. But just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean that it's not true. And that, hey, look, in life, a lot of people don't realize it's chess, not checkers. Okay? Sometimes people are getting beat on the chessboard before they even move one piece. And, you know, I'm not saying that Stephen A. Smith is losing big time, but what I am saying is Stephen A. Smith is not what he thinks he is. And that's why Stephen A. Smith was, you know, locked and collaborating with Shannon Sharpe to come to ESPN. Well, Shannon Sharpe already got his money, okay? You know, them joining forces, Wonder Twin Powers activate, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. Well, Shannon Sharpe already got his multi-year deal with ESPN. Shannon Sharpe don't necessarily have to continue that relationship with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith still hasn't gotten that $100+ million contract. And I do believe there's a lot of incentives in that contract that Stephen A. Smith wants. But they refuse to give it to him. Now, as far as the $100 million, I have no issue paying Stephen A. Smith $100 million. So, yeah. That's all I got. But look, I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. Unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys are going to probably they need to rebuild. To be honest with you, this is as far as Dak Prescott is going to take the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, there's not a huge market for Dak Prescott. Nobody wants Dak Prescott under that circumstances, under that type of big contract, okay? They clearly need to rebuild. They need to start this thing all over again. What will make perfect sense is for them to hire Bill Belichick and let Bill Belichick run the team and just rebuild this thing and start it all over again. But we all know that's not going to happen. But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.